Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okelo. I am the CEO and the founder of Madaraka Festival, and we are here for another recording of the Madaraka Festival podcast. I have a really, really special guest who has joined me here at One Vibe Africa in Kisumu. My wonderful friend is Winnie Wengaer Walcott, who is an extraordinaire. She's also the founder of one of the biggest fashion events in this region. It's called the East African Plus Size Fashion Affair.
Yeah.
And she's an entrepreneur too. She's the CEO of Super Mama
Cleaning Solutions.
Yeah. So this is a really, really important lady for me. She's one of the people that I love watching their moves in this region. And she's an extremely hardworking lady. We'll talk about her story, her experience growing up here in Kisumu. We'll talk about the East African Plus Size Fashion Affair. We'll talk about Madaraka Festival. And then at the end, she'll give you 3 tips as our viewer. A lot of you are always asking me, Simon, how have you been doing Madaraka Festival for 10 years? What's the secret? And she's someone who has gone through a similar journey like me with organizing big events. So how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. What did I miss in introducing you?
You missed Zenjay's events.
Tell me about
an events company that does all the things that you have spoken about.
Nice.
The East Africa Plus Size Fashion Affair, the Let's Unwind, an SME conversation that we bring SMEs together to just forge a way forward. Apart from just speaking challenges, what's working for the different SMEs that we have around. Apart from that, you have also missed the Fashion and Art 4-piece, an event that happens after every 5 years, just during almost election time. So we just voice out, we just add into the voices on peace and just going out there and voting and actually just asking young people to go out and vote. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So take us back to your experience growing up in Kisumu. There are so many people who are going to come to Kisumu for Madaraka Festival and they've never been, But there are also people who have come to Kisumu because of you, but they've really never learned about your experience growing up here. How was it?
So I'm born and bred in Kisumu's Nyala slum. Nyala is where we are going to be hosting Madaraka Festival.
That's true.
So I went to Jolomino Primary School. Jolomino is directly opposite Tomboya Labor College, where the venue of the Madaraka would be. And then after that, we started off at Aria Nursery in town because my mom was a teacher. So I come from a family of 6. My mom, my dad, and my 3 other siblings. So plus myself, 4. We are 3 girls and 1 boy. And then when I was about 11, 12, our parents died. So we were tuligawa. In the Luo dialect, we say nopogwa, tuligawa. So we were separated from each other, and an aunt took one person, another aunt took, what they could carry, the load that they could carry. So after that, I was born a pretty aggressive child, and as I go on with life, I realize probably it's because of who I was named after. I was named after Winnie Mandela, a very strong personality. My dad used to call me Mandela. So I was born after a very aggressive woman. I was named after a very aggressive woman, and probably that would explain some of the things that I love or some of the things I love to put my energy into. After that, I went to school and stepped out of Nyalenda a little bit up to high school and then college. Then I had my baby. I am a mother of a 10-year-old, pretty handsome, beautiful soul, that one. And then I came back to Nyalenda and I realized that the challenges that we were going through when we were growing up, some of them were still in Nyalenda. So I formed a CBO called Face of Nyalenda. So Face of Nyalenda's
I remember Face of Nyalenda.
main issue was trying to just sort out issues to do with education, especially for the girl child, which we later on realized that education is for all. So we spread our wings to paying school fee for both girls and boys. So we started off with a library in Nyalenda. We set up a community library in Nyalenda. And then after some time, we realized that the people that were coming to the library were not children that were hungry. They were children that were thirsty for something else. They were thirsty for education that probably they were not getting. They were also thirsty for good clothing, because most of them could come to the library with tattered clothes. They were also not thirsty for books per se, because now the government was giving books in schools and the sharing ratio was not as huge as ours. And so we moved the library from Nyalenda to Nyabenge. So Nyabenge is where my father went to school. So I just wanted to honor him with that. Apart from that, when we came back, we also realized there was too much talent in Nyalenda slum. And so that was what Face of Nyalenda was covering. We were getting talent in Nyalenda and fixing them wherever we could. Then after that, we came up with East Africa Plus Size Fashion Affair. Initially, it was known as Kisumu Plus Size Fashion Affair, because we wanted to celebrate the covetousness of women around this area. Like we are not known for slim girls. We are known for girls with nice behinds and nice ogwalos. I don't know how to translate that. So we are known for very curvaceous, endowed women. And for the longest time, we've seen media, we've seen print media, social media. We've just seen everyone going out in arms and trying to resize our women into certain categories that for them, that is what the in thing was. But you see now, when it came back to the women, it was really affecting them. Their self-esteem, issues to do with how they were dressing, even just how they were speaking and what they feel or what they thought they could achieve. So sitting down, we decided that we were going to celebrate a different sector of women that was not a representation of us. It was a representation of our mothers, our aunties, our sisters, you know. So that's what East Africa Plus Size is all about. So when we sat down after doing the East Africa Plus Size Fashion Affair for 7 years, we realized that there were a lot of queries coming in asking, what about wanawake wa Tanzania? Mmeona wanawake wa Uganda kweli? Na wale wa Burundi? You know, so everyone was asking, come to think of it, we have aspects of plus size women in almost all the East Africa countries in the East Africa region. So we were like, why not? Why not include other women from different scopes of Africa to just run the movement with? So that's how we started the East Africa Plus Size.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I think I attended the very first one and the most recent one.
Yeah,
the first one was at Imperial.
The first one was at Kisumu Hotel.
Really?
Yes.
Which one was at Imperial?
The third.
The third.
Yeah, the
So I
third and the
attended
fourth
third.
Imperial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I attended the third and the most recent one.
Yes. Yes.
And I have to say, I'm very proud of you. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. What you've pulled off and what you've built is not easy. You know? We will talk more about event tips at the end. But it's what you've done is very scary.
Still is.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been the most scary thing for you to do to get to where you are? Or what has scared you the most about this vision that you have? Because I feel like you have a very big vision.
Very big. It's not even, what I've told you is not even half of it.
Like, how far do you want to take it? And because I was told that you need to do things that scare you enough that you still want to do it because of how hard or how big your dream is, you know? And so I feel like I'm asking you so many questions, a question on top of another one. So I just want you to talk about why you keep repeating it and doing it and doing it. Because I have a friend, her name is Mary Kide. She's Ugandan American, very beautiful. And one day after doing Madaraka for like 3 years, she was telling me, Simon, why are you putting yourself through these problems?
Through this
like,
torture, honestly.
Yeah, like, why do you have to stress yourself like this? You're such a beautiful guy. If you stopped, you'd just be fine, you know. And I looked at her and I told her, you have no idea why I started, you know. And so if you know why you started something, then you know why you keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So for me, I think the reason why we keep doing the East Africa plus size in particular is because of the impact we have seen with the different women that we have worked with, the different young girls that we've worked with. We have worked with ladies that are plus size and were undergoing SGBV. We have worked with, SGBV is sexual gender-based violence. And because they could not voice it out, it's something that kept on happening. And to them, it got to a point that it was normalized. And it took our sessions, because during plus size, so one thing people do not know about plus size is it's not just a fashion event. Before the fashion event, there's a whole behind the scenes going on, matters public relations, matters communication, matters counseling. Because tell me how you want to convince someone that for them, having one meal a day, intentionally, not that they cannot afford the meal, but they intentionally don't take food. Because when they take food in front of people, people make snide comments about their bodies. You know, like the way you're fat, you're still eating. Like if I were your size, I wouldn't be eating lunch. You know, the society has so much to say about women bodies that sometimes they do not see the repercussions of after. They do not see the after. Like after I have said whatever I have said to Simon. When Simon goes back home, or when Simon is alone in a corner, whatever I said, was it kind? Was it hurtful? Was it harmful? Did it push Simon to do something that if I hear I could regret? There's a girl who took jik. And every time I say this, there are people who come out to say that it's a lie. There are women that take Omo. They dilute Omo. Omo is powdered soap. So if there are women that do that, because there are people who told them, if you take that, it cleans your body off of the fat. There are women who do not take supper, because according to them, they were told, if you take lemon tea, then it will help you to cleanse the fat, the excess fat that you have. Except we are not recognizing the fact that most of these women's bodies are just genetically big. Because that is who we are known for. We are known for huge women.
Beautiful
from
women.
back then. So it's not something that will change now. So what we need to be advocating for is healthy. Like stay as huge, as endowed as you'd want to. But stay healthy. Have healthy food. Make sure that you exercise every now and then. But these are conversations that happen behind the scenes. So during those conversations, that's where we bring a counselor. So during the counseling sessions, this is where somebody who for you during these training sessions has been okay, just comes out and says, by the way, you guys, I have not been okay. This and this and this is going on in my house, and I don't know how to handle it anymore. So we've had cases and issues. Some we've even escalated to the police because now it became too much. I remember in 2023, we had to have police presence at the East Africa Plus Size Fashion Affair because there was a participant's ex-husband that was threatening to come and beat the participant on stage and had sent me the message, you know. So behind the scenes, for me, I usually feel like that's where plus size happens. Everything that happens during the event, I guess it's beautiful. But for me, the beauty usually is just before the event, up to the Friday, and then we do the event on a Saturday. That's usually where, for me, that's where plus size happens. Yeah. So I don't know if I answered your very many questions.
You did.
Yeah.
This year, I think we partnered. Not I think we partnered in April for Madaraka Eco Fashion event, and I got a chance to actually interact closely with some of the models that you're working with.
Yeah.
And you know, as we are talking now, I remember some of their faces and how confident they were on the stage.
Yeah.
And they were kind people. I interacted with some of them even behind the scene, you know. And I've actually run into some of them even recently, you know. And I can see the community aspect of the work that you do. And I wanted you to speak about that, the value of building community through the work that you do.
So, one thing that makes Plus Size special and it makes it easy to run is the fact that we have made it in such a way that the event does not belong to Winnie. This is ours. It's a Kisumu thing. And if you've noticed closely that Kisumu just falls behind its own. And it's a beautiful thing. I don't know who taught us. I don't know where we were taught. But it's something that is very hard to find elsewhere. But it's very easy to find in Kisumu. Kisumu has a togetherness that is unexplainable. That's why there are clubs that have been running for ages and ages and ages. You know, there are eateries and joints that have been in existence for ages and ages and ages. And that's the leaf that we borrowed when we were doing Plus Size. We made sure that every person's story is valid. Every person's voice is heard when it comes to Plus Size. Whether you are a photographer, when you come into the space, the first thing that we do is, for us, we break it down to you, what we would want you to produce. And then you already know that for a fact, this is how these guys want, this is the angle these guys want their story to be told. But also, as a talent, for me, this is how I would like to give it to them, you know. So it becomes a symbiotic relationship that surpasses Plus Size. Yeah.
Speak about the growth of the entertainment scene in Kisumu.
Man.
Because I feel that you have been in the middle of the evolution of showbiz in Kisumu, you know. So 10 years ago, things were so different.
Very slow.
Compared to now.
Very slow.
So speak to that period, the last decade.
So I joined the entertainment industry in Kisumu. I believe immediately we finished Form 4. That is in 2009, 2010 uko. And I had a passion for modeling. I used to look at Ajuma Nasenyana and wow at her skin. And for the first time, actually for the second time, I met Ajuma. And this year, for the first time, I met her during my birthday. I felt like the universe was saying something. Like, man, you have worked through your stairs to get to this level. And on my birthday, I was meeting her at Dunga Hill Camp. And one thing that has stood out for me, even in the journey of entertainment industry in Kisumu, is how consistent we have been as a people when it comes to the growth of the entertainment industry in Kisumu. From when people were not being paid at gigs to a point where we made it intentional to make sure that our people are paid, you know, by us ourselves paying our people, so that when somebody else comes from outside, when they come in and speak to different event organizers, they already know the rates of different people. So it's very easy for someone to tell you, if you want X person would cost you this. If you want Y person would cost you this. But at least we are speaking money language. From a point where modeling events, for example, models were not being paid. I remember we had so many events in clubs. And one particular club stands out for me, Quorum. Yeah. Club Quorum used to be at City Square. So on very many occasions, we had myself and Josephine Apio. Josephine Apio right now is the baddest makeup artist you will ever have in your squad or in your glam team. And we used to model with her. And after the event, because we used to live in Mtaani, and we never wanted to go back home during unholy hours. So we'd go to Nakumat. Nakumat was operating a 24-hour store at Mega Plaza. And we would sit at the bench. They used to have this bench where clients would wait for their goods to be packed and be brought outside. That's where we would sleep at. And on this particular day, I remember we had done a show in Malindi, and then we'd done a show in Nairobi, and we came back home. When we came back home, there was another show being done in Quorum. So we were told to go to the show. After going to the show and noticing the difference, Nairobi and Malindi we were paid. But home, we were not paid. We were being told there was no money. And I remember asking Apio, is this what we want to do for the rest of our talented years? And the silence was loud. And we never went to those shows again. We never went. Were we looked for? Yes. Because we were pretty good. We still are pretty good. But did we now realize our worth? Even just as young people, as models, did we realize that? Yes, we did. And this realization came because of one very huge factor. A lady by the name Dorothy Oliech. Dorothy Oliech owns Moche's modeling agency. And she's the first person that paid us. And for me, that stuck something in my head. It made me value just paying my people. It's pretty. And sometimes you go home without a cent. But your people are happy. You're happy. Your people are chilled. Your people are... Somebody goes back home and says, at least my talent is paying. For me, the growth of Kisumu entertainment industry has been with a lot of ups and downs. There has been a lot of tears and a lot of laughter from a point where we never knew we could even host artists in Kisumu successfully. You know, apart from the club scenery, there is the aspect of this other side of the entertainment industry that a lot of people have not had a lot of confidence in. That right now we are seeing the confidence levels going up. You know, every month in Kisumu right now, you do not miss a show. You will not miss a show or two or three or more. From film to just poetry, to just fashion shows, to exhibitions, you know, virtual artists just coming out and doing their thing. It's just beautiful to see the growth.
It's amazing. And even Kisumu itself has really grown, you know.
Infrastructure. Yeah.
I see a lot of housing, like affordable housing. The city is growing. I see a lot of my friends from Nairobi who have relocated here.
It is.
You know?
Kisumu is growing. In the next 2-3 years, we'll be having a very totally different conversation from what we are having right now.
I agree. So let's talk about Madaraka Festival, you know. How long have you known Madaraka Festival, and how do you feel about Madaraka Festival being done in Kisumu? And those who are on the fence, those who are probably in Europe and they're thinking of being in Kisumu in December and they haven't made the decision, or those who are even in Nairobi and they're still wondering whether they should come, what should they expect?
So my first introduction to Madaraka Festival was an event we did with One Vibe under my modeling agency. That Sauti Sol was here, Nazizi came, I don't remember this other lady's name, but we had artists, Karun. We had artists come to sports ground, and it
made
was
in Kisumu,
made in Kisumu. It was really beautiful for us. I don't know how it felt for the artists that were outside of Kisumu, but for us it felt like finally there was some spotlight down here, because every now and then if you ask someone, if someone sees potential in you, and I don't know if you have been told this, or One Vibe has been told this, or the Madaraka team has been told this, but for the longest time, people assume that if they see potential in you in Kisumu, the first instinct is you're usually told, what are you doing in Kisumu?
Yeah.
Go to Nairobi, you know. And for me, my first reaction usually is, if all of us go to Nairobi, then who changes home? Who changes here? You know. So that was my first introduction to One Vibe team with the Made in Kisumu concert. And for this year, I think the one thing that has stood out is how ready we are for the Madaraka Festival. Because number one, Kisumu right now is thirsty for events. And what better way to spend your holidays than to come and vibe with the rest of the world that is down here? If you probably have friends down in Kisumu, that's the one opportunity you have to come and just chill with them and enjoy good music and enjoy a good scenery and enjoy some good food and good drinks, you know, with friends. And this year, we have a lot of artists that have some strand from Kisumu or from within. The OG, for example, you know, even in his rappings, he diversely mentions Kisumu, you know. When you go to Shari, for example, Shari is a young lady whose talent was tapped from here. And I remember her winning some singing competition here. And when she did that, one thing stuck with me with Shari. It was her sultriness, her voice, and how she would own the stage. And I'm very excited to see that. I'm very excited to see the growth that has become of Shari. I'm very excited to see Johnny Jr. perform his new album. Apart from the Kawaida songs that we already know, I am very excited to see the elegance that he brings to Madaraka Festival. John is known for Nyadi. I am not sure if Nyadi is pride. But John is known for the pride. He carries himself with a lot of grace and a lot of elegance and a lot of just sophistication, you know. John brings in some touch of class to Madaraka Festival that you wouldn't want to miss. This is the only opportunity you get to enjoy rumba, rap, reggae. You get to enjoy a Grammy nominee, you know, that is Gabiro Mtu Necessary. You get to breathe the same air with a Grammy nominee, you know. Anyway, jokes aside. But for me, this particular artist, Gabiro, is special for me because I have seen how he pushes. I have seen stardom. When you speak about Mtu Necessary, you cannot just speak about Mtu Necessary hivi. You see hard work. You see the fruits of hard work. And also you see the fruits of consistency. And you see the fruits of somebody who has not let society brainwash them into thinking that where they come from, they can't make it. So if you're coming down to Madaraka, or if you're still not decided yet, I'd like to throw a challenge to you. If we were all to go to Nairobi, would you be proud coming back home? What would you be proud coming back home to see or to do? This is your opportunity to just make this bigger and better. Come, 100%. Let's have fun.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. For those who are watching today's conversation, my guest is Winnie Wengaer Walcott, and we've really talked about incredible things. We started just with her upbringing in Kisumu and how that was, and then we talked about the incredible work that Winnie is doing with the East African plus size fashion affair, And then, we've talked about the growth of the showbiz industry in Kisumu. And we just talked about Madaraka Festival. And now I want you to connect with Winnie on social media. Share with us your social media handles and how everybody who is watching can stay connected with you.
So I'm on social media as Winnie Wengaer Walcott on all the platforms. It's Winnie, Winnie, and Wenger as Wenger, and Walcott as Waltt. No, Walcott. Yes.
Fantastic.
Sorry.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. So look at that camera and let those who are watching know that they should subscribe to Madaraka Festival's YouTube channel. That's where this conversation is being published.
Okay.
Yeah.
So niko Ramogi adwarwa ko udala ne Madaraka Festival matimre on 14th of December 2024. To kapo kwachopo kanyo warwakre uru mondo wachopuru YouTube kachacha wabonyeza gima otim kamaeni iluongo ni like gi dho ngere to wasubscribe on the channel also mondo wachop ne ji mang'eny mopogre arwako.
Erokamano.
Yeah.
Anything that I did not ask you that you want to add before we wrap up our conversation today?
Is there really? No.
No?
I don't think so.
No, you don't want to talk about Supermama?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mera. Tell us about Supermama.
So Supermama, so this is the funny thing about Supermama, Simon. So I am a clean freak. I love clean spaces. And I am that one friend who, if I come to visit and I notice your house is not so clean, and if I'm okay with you like that, I would literally just go into the house and start mopping. Because I do not want to be the one to tell you that your house is dirty, but I know that if I were to clean it, you'd not have a problem with it. So over time, I kept on doing that until someday I was like, wait, if I could do this for free, what if I could turn this into some little profit? So that's how Supermama Cleaning Solutions came about. And Supermama is because of the very many other things that I do as a person. And I was looking for a way to say that I am awesome without necessarily using the word awesome. So I tried Supermama because I am a mother. So I was trying to portray a motherly touch into the company. And what we do is we do cleaning, we do fumigation, we offer compound maintenance services. And then apart from that, we clean seats, carpets. We do laundry. We have a laundry at Polyview Estate. We charge 520 for one laundry basket. And then apart from that, we clean mattresses. Mattresses prices are dependent on whether it's white or just the kawaida colors. Apart from that, we clean post-construction. Any person that probably has finished constructing a house and is looking for a company that would help them to just turn the space that they've already built into now a homely environment, that's where we come in. So we do post-construction cleaning services. We also do move-in and move-out cleaning services. So in case you're moving from one house to the other and you don't want to leave this other house dirty, you call us. In case you're moving to the next house and you don't want to get into the next house with a lot of dirt, what you do is you call us, we clean before you move in. Apart from that, we also offer cleaning consultancy. And what that would mean is sometimes you have investments within and you're looking for a team that can help you to maintain the investment that you've left home. So that's where we come in. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Thank you all for tuning in. Please remember to follow Winnie Wengaer Walcott across all social media platforms and follow me at Okelo Javan and also follow at Madaraka Festival across all social media platforms. Peace.